Okay, so this file is about the elements of a novel. It will give you some background about some of the things that you can talk about. So this is just a short little video for that. The first of the things that you can talk about is the plot. And you can read as well as I can, but the plot is about not just what happens, it's also the cause and the effect. So what is it that drives the story, the character, the setting? What is the motive for the plot? And what's the major incident? Now, in some novels, there's a series of incidents. In others, there is one major incident. So you may say that in To Kill a Mockingbird, you'd probably say that the trial is where everything starts to really fall apart. Or you could say that the major incident would be the attack at the end. But the trial is probably that. So yes, it's the story, but it's also the cause and effect. And that's the same, it's the word plotting. As you plot something, you work out a strategy. So it's the strategy of the novel. The second one is a setting. They talk about two settings. They talk about the internal world of the character and the physical setting of the action. Notice that setting is place or era. Place, era, the time, and the atmosphere. So you're looking at where is it set and why is it set there? In what time is it set and why is it set then? And what is the atmosphere? What is is it a positive atmosphere? Is it an atmosphere where there are problems? What is the atmosphere of the setting? Setting can also be in the mind of a character, and it can be revealed in many different ways. It can be described, and in both novels that you are studying it is described, but it can also be historical or geographical. It could be a fantasy, but you are not looking at novels with fantastic background. We talked about Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a fantasy, but it has to be believable. So when Harry catches that train off the platform, I can't remember, is it 10.5 or whatever in the novels, we believe he can do it. So fantasy has to be believable, but setting in both the novels that you are studying is vitally important. The next area to look at are characters, and again you have character driven novels, and to some readers they are the single most important part, because we know that, because through them we get to see the development of the plot, we get to see the themes. Two main words that we use in analytical essays: one is the hero or the central character, the protagonist, and the bad guy, the antagonist. This is interesting. People always go, what's a flat character? Some characters we only find out about because other people tell us about them, and we only see one side of them. Flat characters are people that we only know generally, and we know them because they have some effect on the setting or on the plot or on the main character, on the protagonist. Then we have round characters, and round characters are central. When you have round characters in your novels, we know them as people. Some characters we can say either direct or indirect, and the indirect is when they are allowed to reveal themselves. We don't get any description of them or little description about them, and they are often indirect characters are often those that tell their own story. They are the narrator. Direct characters is when the author describes them, where we get to know them through what is said in the novel. So I would say probably that Scout would be an indirect round character, because we know about Scout, we hear about Scout from herself. The writing under here talks about the 5 main ways that a character is revealed to the audience, and you can read that. The next one is theme. Theme is what the writer wants to say. So what is the theme or the general subject matter which helps to shape the plot and the characters? So what is the theme? It also mentions the fact that themes, some novels have several themes. One main one, several minor ones. So what is the theme? I would suggest that both your novels have a number of themes. I'd say maybe that in both cases there is a central theme, but there's a number of minor themes around, especially Boys of Blood and Bone. If you look at structure, the structure of the novel, again, both the novels that you are reading have an unusual structure. It points out the fact that not all novels start at the beginning and work through in a chronological fashion. Many novels start after the climax and the resolution and take the reader back to before it all started. And this, of course, is To Kill a Mockingbird. You know the ending of the book. I talked to you about Lovely Bones, where we know who killed her and how she was killed on the first page. But you read on to find out how the event happened. Others seem to move around, and surely Boys of Blood and Bone is one of these. 2 or even more stories entwined in one and being told concurrently, leading towards a climax that links the 2 stories. So one of your novels has one structure, the other one has another structure. Next we come to point of view. So through whose eyes are the characters revealed? The point of view of the novel, is it first person or is it written in third person? Or in the case of one of your novels, is it written in both? And it's interesting here, it says many young adult novels are told from the first person, as it gives a more intimate and personal feel to the story. Third person narration. Interesting. That is pronounced omniscient. Limited and objective. So if it's told in third person, do we know what's known about the characters and events? Or does the narrator only tell us about 1 or 2? Or does the narrator not see into the minds of characters? Point of view. So that's a quick journey through that file, giving you some ideas.